Brunch culture.
We want to talk about faith. We want to talk about politics. We want to talk about race. We want to talk about pop culture. Literally, everything is up for discussion, and that's what brunch culture is about.
It's about a thing. Feel real good with your hands in the air and lick 2 shots in the air.
Brunch culture. Brunch culture. Brunch culture. Brunch culture. What's going on, world? You're tuned into Brunch Culture. As always, I'm your host, Randall Keith, and I'm joined by my co-host, Miss Lisa Victoria.
What's up, world?
All right, y'all. So today we have a great show lined up for y'all as we have a very, very special guest. He is known as the Heart Healer. If you are on Twitter and Instagram or social media in general, it's impossible for you to have escaped this guy's presence. You've probably seen a quote, a retweet, or a repost of something he said. Mr. Rob here, Sr. How's it going, Rob?
I'm great. And thank you for that grand intro. You had me over here brushing my shoulders off a little bit.
You definitely should, man. You are that dude. You're that dude for our generation. We must say, Lisa introduced me to you on Instagram. She's like, you follow Rob Hill, and I was like, the name sounds real familiar. Do I know him? And then I go to my social media, and I'm like, yeah, this dude is everywhere.
Well, thank you, Lisa, for that intro. I appreciate you spreading the word.
You're welcome. I got introduced to you through I follow Sarah Jakes, and she posts a lot of your posts, and I was like, who is Rob Hill? And then I saw some other people posting, and I went to your page and I looked through it and I followed you because I was like, I always like to follow people who are spreading positive inspiration to our generation. So, and then I went on your website and I thought your story was pretty cool. You have an organization where you help mentor teenagers and help inspire them, and that's definitely needed in our community. I don't think a lot of people know you do that in addition to the Instagram and the books and all of that other stuff as well.
Thank you. We all got to do our part. We all have to do our part. So I just try to do mine, in my way. So yeah, I appreciate you all being active supporters. And also, participants, with inviting me on your platform is a way for me to extend my message. So I appreciate you guys having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So tell us how you became the Heart Healer.
Well, I'll explain my concept behind Heart Healer. You know how they... if they see a cute little kid, they'll be like, oh, he's going to be a heartbreaker one day. He's so cute. He's so cute.
Yeah.
And then the quote, hurt people. And one day I was writing and I was just so frustrated with that quote. And I was thinking that, healed people can heal people. And I started thinking if my son, if somebody has the power to be a heartbreaker, they too can also be a heart healer. We can tweak life. Our words are supposed to have life, our actions, that type of things. We can actually increase, a person's being, through our energy. So I decided to come up with the phrase heart healer. And, as I was writing, people were, responding like, hey, you helped me heal my heart. You helped me really, work on some problems, stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of catchy, and it kind of just stuck for it. I thought it was different. But really, the term heart healer is really just saying, I have the power to hurt you. I have the power to help you. And I want to be, the type of person that helps you. So that's really the theory behind it. So I like to tell people, we all could be heart healers.
Right.
If we choose to be.
And I noticed on your bio, you said when your son was born, I think 3 months into it, you joined the Navy, and that kind of was a pivotal change in your life, and it motivated you to start writing. Was there anything in addition to your son being born that kind of pushed you to write?
Him being born really just woke me up, but I was also going through a lot, and I haven't always had the ability to communicate how I feel or what I'm feeling or what I'm going through. But when I'm writing, I feel free enough to do so. And, it's just an outlet for me. So, aside from it being a natural outlet, it was really just, developing that discipline during my Navy days.
Okay. And I know you travel around the country spreading this message as the heart healer. What are some obstacles you see with young professionals as they're trying to build relationships? Because I know the whole thing is I'm trying to climb the corporate ladder. I'm trying to be all I could be. Um, so I don't really have time to slow down, or I don't really have
Mhm.
time to. Is this that important? Can it be put on the back burner?
Mhm.
What are
I think we you said it right there. The biggest barrier is what we tell ourselves we have time for. What we tell ourselves is a distraction, and what we tell ourselves is necessary. Our generation is under the mindset that a relationship is just extra baggage, just another distraction. Like, I don't got time for love. Like, I'm trying to get ahead in life. And at one point, love was looked at as the thing to help you get ahead in life. When people say they don't want a relationship nowadays, I really believe what they're saying is, I don't want all the BS and the crap I had in the past.
Mhm.
I
Right.
think, that wasn't good for me. But it's not saying, because a good relationship is supposed to advance you in life. It's supposed to get you closer to your dreams. It's supposed to do all those, positive, constructive things. But, we just tell ourselves the relationships that we experience, that's the best it's going to get. All we're going to get is a good beginning and, a crash ending, and there's no point in doing it anymore. So we gotta reprioritize. We gotta understand that love is powerful, and it
Yeah.
can open you up. It can change a lot of things in your life. So it's an asset to success. It's not a distractor.
I think that's a good. I definitely think that's a good thing. You actually speaking to me, man, because I am the person that is always just like, well, you know what? Let me just build my empire, and when I build my empire, then I'll start trying to expand my empire. That's kind of like my mentality.
Yeah, that was
Um,
me. That was me too. That was me.
yeah, yeah. So, and I think it's something that's natural. So, one thing you said about it being an asset to us being our success and our road to success, you think about realistically the ways in which two people from potentially polar opposite backgrounds have to come together and have to make it work in the midst of trying to manage your corporate life. What do you think are some
hmm
like realistic ways of approaching relationships in the beginning so that it can be a continuous asset as opposed to a liability?
I think it's just keeping those communication lines open. We go through so much. We feel so much. And, we're not always comfortable enough sharing it. We're not always in the environment to share it. And it leaves a lot of room, for you to feel in your dark, the person you're with to feel in the dark. And that creates barriers, because we tend not to share the stuff we're not proud of.
Right.
And it kind of blocks. So I would say communication is a big thing, but also having realistic expectations of each other. Always seeking to understand first before we
Right.
judge, before we, point the finger, before anything. Let's just understand the point of view first. But, it requires a certain type of patience and strength to do that. But yeah, I think those things are what would really help people in our generation, because we just decide that we're fed up and we're never going to look back. But I think that cheats us in the long run.
You mentioned communication. Do you think, because I'm big on not spending the whole relationship via text messaging, do you think do you think that that's a barrier to our generation because we like to multitask, that we don't devote enough time to actually verbally communicating?
Yeah, I do. Um, I think that we've always had print communication, so I kind of throw text in that bucket. Back in the day, people wrote
Bruh,
letters.
me too.
They just had
Yes.
to have the
Come
patience
on,
to wait.
man. Come on,
They just
Rob.
had to have the patience to wait for the post office. So we've
Come
always
on,
had
Rob. Come on,
that
Rob.
print communication. But I think nowadays it's the priority. Like I was telling my friends the other day, like we could be talking in a room, and they could be with me, and they could be telling me a story. But if somebody's texting me, that person will automatically probably have priority because they're not, in my proximity. But if he was the person texting me and he was telling me the same story, I would probably be more attentive. And it was crazy. I was telling him, like, you could really get more undivided attention in my phone than you can in my presence. And that's a really weird place to be in life,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's so funny. I was boosting you up in that statement because Lisa and I, we've had a show about communication within relationships. And it's one of the things I said, text messages is the new form of writing letters. Back in the day, they used to write love letters. Today, we can write love text messages. So in essence, it's the same thing. Right. And it's instant. You don't got to wait. You know what I'm saying? Like your heart is satisfied right when I hit send. So,
it's like, back in the day, it was too much time in between messages. Now we force time to act like we're busy and stuff. It's crazy how it flips.
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that we kind of have, and since we have you on, and we talk about relationships, we're going to throw this out. Me and Lisa have this thing about paying for dates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Lisa, let's say you have a woman, and we'll say this from the standpoint of a man, because Lisa and her homegirls, they always like to come down on us, bro. And I'm coming from the standpoint of somebody that has student loan debt. I'm paying for dates, right? But if you want to go on a date multiple times in 1 week, realistically, I can't sustain that. I got student loans.
Right.
I just paid off.
Right.
I'm trying to pay off this master's degree that I got. So from the standpoint of what women, you know what I'm saying, how to approach dating today, because I think one of the things that we keep knocking with is, women have these expectations of men and men have these expectations of women. And it's almost seemed like nobody is understanding the reality of the situation, right? So from a man's standpoint, I can't expect you to want to be like dressed to the nines every day that I see you, and to be wearing the latest, baddest outfit, because your life where you're at trying to build this empire, you can't sustain that. And from the same viewpoint, she can't expect me to take her to a 5-star restaurant every week. I just can't do that. I'm not saying that the woman should be paying for a man. I'm traditional in that sense. Like, never. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying let's create some creative days. Let's go to the park. Let's have a picnic. You know what I'm saying? Let's go fishing. Like, let's do something where we're not like breaking our bank. What do you think about the way in which we should be dating today?
I think that I agree with you. She should be trying to meet you halfway. I think that we all should try to do that. If she's dating you, she should obviously understand, where you are, like, that you do have a degree to pay for, that you do have, you're trying to build. You're on the upstart. You're not set. You can't afford to go out. And even if you did make a budget to go out every night, it's just irresponsible. So she should, kind of like, nah, we went out. Let's cook together. Or, it's other ways to make it not routine, but also, make it affordable and fun.
Affordable dating. That's the name of the game.
I'm a fan of balance. I'm a fan of balance. So.
Yeah,
affordable dating.
I'm all about balance too. I'm not. I'm not knocking balance. I think that free stuff is completely okay. But I think everything we should do and it shouldn't be free. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think every activity has to be a free one either. But I think, the same thing would goes like, I don't think every activity had to be paid for by me either.
Oh, Rob, you're ruffling some feathers with Lisa, man. Lisa is
I'm not one of those people that make money a large issue. I'm not gonna remember that I paid for the last 5 meals. I don't care. We gotta eat. You like to eat. You with me? I got it. Whatever.
Right.
But I just don't complain to me about dates or something if you ain't organizing something. And if the only ones that you can organize are the ones I'm financing, then you really can't really talk to me about much.
Spoken from the heart healer himself. I'm just saying we have to have realistic, and I think we have to have realistic goals. That's my biggest thing. I think that you can't expect me to be this provider in the future if I'm trying to build to be this provider in the future, and you telling me I got to go take you to Ruth Chris 4 nights a week. I just,
So you can't expect me to be a provider if you're helping me waste. Like if you're part of what I'm wasting it on, you can't expect me to be a provider at the end of the day. Like I'm supposed to be good at wasting and taking care of you.
Right.
I agree. That's a good quote.
Lisa probably has a follow up.
No, I'm good. I'm not like you gotta take me to Ruth Chris all the time. But I do want a man to make an effort, especially when it's the beginning. Now, once we start dating and we know each other's lives, I don't know how much student loan debt you have in the first 3 dates. I don't think that should be something that I know about you. But I think a man should be making an effort to impress me or show me that, okay, you're worth my time. As I should be able to show him that I'm worth his time. It's a mutual thing. So it's give and take. And depending on what stage of the relationship it's in, it's kind of what determines how much a person is giving and how much you're willing to take. Because something I really liked in your book, you said that single young professionals sometimes struggle with the fact that a boyfriend is a boyfriend and not a husband, and a girlfriend is a girlfriend and not a wife. And I think in this day where we call our significant other, men are around here calling their girlfriends wifey, and that expectation is I want you to be my wife, but we haven't made that commitment, so we don't have those proper lines, so everything kind of gets blurred.
Yeah, so today it's hard, man, because you want to show commitment, but you don't want to do too much. You want to show that you're serious, but you might not be ready to get married. It's no middle ground. It's like you either got to go all out or you ain't about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes it kind of throws people's equilibriums off. And when you get to a certain point, like you can't scale back, because if you scale back, then you're changing, they're changing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of different things that start playing or weighing in on different relationships. That's why I say communication is so important, because you shouldn't be feeling boxed in when you get more time. You should actually feel freer.
Mm-hmm.
But most people work the opposite. Like the more time they're in the bond, the smaller the room gets. When really, if it's a good bond, the more time you're in, the bigger, the more open everything should get.
That's true, especially in light of it seems like most young professional relationships have a 2-year lifespan.
It's that. Yeah, it's that. I would say that's pretty long.
Yeah.
Usually, they say it takes about 9 months for people to officially break up and all the way let go. So, if you're making a relationship 2 years, and that last 9 months or so is the breakup, we have sex every other month, whatever type phase that people go through, when it's not going well, but it's hard to let go.
Yeah. That's all right. So let's get into some of your books, man. The book I've been checking out is the book I Got You. Let us know about tell us a little bit about what your inspiration was for writing that book. Was it the same as you developing the idea of being the heart healer and just expounding off that, or was there a certain particular event that got you to the place of drafting this book?
I Got You was the subtitle line is Restoring Confidence in Love and Relationships, and it was really okay, we got a lot of books out there, we got a lot of authors, we got a lot of resources, but you guys are listening to me for a reason. You're trusting me with your time and energy, and you're trying to apply what I'm putting in my material. So let's just address the situation head on. Let's just talk about all the different things we want to talk about. And my second book was for single people who still understand the value of relationships. And I Got You was basically a build on that. It was like, all right, we're single, we understand what relationships are about. But now I'm going to restore your confidence. So now it's like, okay, so we're standing. Now I'm going to get you confident enough in your own feet to take a step. And that's really all I wanted to do. What I Got You was like, look, let's just try to be better than what we're accepting as okay. You know what I mean? We're not gonna get it
Right.
perfectly. We're not gonna do it all the way right the first time, but at least we're moving and challenging each other to move in the right direction. So that's what I got here.
Okay. So I mean, just let us know, man. We appreciate you just for being here and again for talking to us. Let everybody know how they can follow you on social media and how they can get the new books, because you do have a re-release, the gold release of I'm correct, December 19th of all of your books. So let us know how we can get those.
Well, I'll be releasing an app before the new year. And I also have my website, which is robhillsenior.com. That's ROBHILLSR.com. All the information for the upcoming app will be up there as well. You can get my books, and there's a link to a lot of my work up there as well.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. So again, the Heart Healer, you guys, we appreciate you, man, for just coming and spending a little time with us here at Brunch Culture. Like I said, here we are for the young professionals. We are trying to just move this thing forward. We realize that there's a huge gap in terms of relationships. Everybody seems to be trying to get a relationship, fighting for a relationship, but for whatever reason, they're just not working out. And statistics show that they're not working out for our generation. So we just appreciate your work, man. We support you. If there's anything that we can do here at Brunch Culture to help you get that message out there and spark that movement, you just let us know, man.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you guys having me on the show.
We appreciate you being on the show.
And now it's time for our random topic.
So today's random topic has to do with a Salvation Army holiday kettle and gold teeth. Yeah, just
Gangsta Grills.
Yeah, we find random stuff every week for you guys, and we found this article in HuffPost, and we could not mention it on today's show. So they find a lot of different things, usually money, in those kettles, and it's the holidays, and somebody decided to put gold teeth in there. I guess maybe that's all they had. Maybe they thought, man, this is worth something. One of the reps from the Salvation Army said they might could get $80 to $100 potentially, depending on how much gold it is. But they're waiting to somebody claim it because maybe it was an accident. I don't see how you accidentally drop your gold teeth in the kettle. I think you would feel those coming off. And it's just not a place where you would put your mouth over.
So this, in my mind, this is how it happened. The person, because they're usually outside of a grocery store, maybe a Walmart, right? So they were inside Walmart and they sampled the chicken wing. So they pull their gold teeth out, they put their gold teeth in their pocket. The pocket that also had change. So when they went out, they was like, oh, I can give to them. So they stuck their hand in their pocket and just dropped the whole wad of change in there. And so happened their gold teeth was in there, right?
Okay. Maybe that could have been how it went. Yeah, and then when they got home, they probably like, man, where my teeth?
My Gangsta Grills.
Yeah.
Gangsta Grills.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Salvation Army should bless somebody with it. Gold teeth, they kind of coming back.
No, that's
they
nasty.
Coming back.
Mm-mm.
They coming back. It's almost like it's like a more permanent retainer. Like my retainers are clear, but gold retainers, that'll be fresh. I think that'll be cool. So I think the person. Yeah, I think they're useful. You don't have to build it down. Just put them on the market. I'm telling you, somebody will come in and need them.
Oh, wow. That's no comment. So, yes, we want to move to our quote of the week. Today's quote of the week will only be right to come from our special guest, Mr. Rob Hill Sr. It says, don't misuse people next to you stressing what's ahead of you. We all have problems. Shutting out the ones who truly care for you won't solve them.
Hey, I think that's good. I think that's something that definitely is relevant to us as young professionals as we continue to climb up the ladder, the social ladder, the corporate ladder, whatever ladder, just move upward in our career. Sometimes we can be so focused on what's next and kind of miss what's here, and then as we start to meet new people and we start to gel and make these great relationships, we kind of think that the people that we had previously are just kind of old news, or they shouldn't be along for the ride with us. And I think that's a bad move, and this quote speaks to that. So be mindful of that this week. Be mindful that, hey, as I'm getting better, my team, my original team, what Drake said, no new friends, no new friends, yo. Well, I don't really believe that, but I'm saying don't forget your old friends. That's what I mean.
Yes, because when I win, my friends win, and
All
I don't
right.
want to succeed alone. So
Hey.
we thank you for listening to episode 28 of Brunch Culture. It has been an eventful one with Rob Hill. We want to give him a special thanks again for being here on the show. Remember to check out his website at www.robhillsenior.com. And remember, you can check out all our past episodes at brunchculturebc.com. Again, that's brunchculturebc.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our, if you are iTunes user, subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. If you are Android user, you can subscribe on Spreaker. And we want you to check us out on social media on Twitter at Brunch Culture, on Instagram at Brunch_culture, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Brunch Culture. And remember, at Brunch Culture, everything is up for discussion.